for me, but not there.
Nobody, you getting very. You say asking you too much question. Hey, just explain things. Say make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
okay, I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then you.
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, like why now?
Go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Sorry.
Say Ali, you take time. You take time.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say to I can take time to.
Brother. Senator Dillon. Senator Dillon, I want you to know that you are not Okran with the TRC report. Every time you see me come in, no, when you were speaking, you didn't say order. When you were speaking, you did not say order. Whenever time you see me, you talk about one crime code. I must tell you, the people of Nimba were declared enemy of the state. They were being butchered or slaughtered like chickens and goats, and we have to defend ourselves to survive today. Deal with the issue that is on the floor. Deal with the issue on the agenda. But this boy who has his own record of gazing,
who's the boy?
You know him. No. Then every time he sees me, he talk about Walk Ranko, Prince Johnson, Walk Ranko. When you see me, I want you, Mr. Pro Tem, give me a time, set a special date. I will brief the Senate. I will elect you, I will teach you, I will tutor you by using the very TRC that justice was not done to. Before the fraud, irregularities.
This is why it's revolving. If I said this in the past about almost a year ago, and somebody decided to bring the cassette of oath today, it does not have any effect on our desire to endorse Honorable Jeremiah Cole on Wednesday. This Wednesday, we are going to go to Ganta in a number, hundreds of people to endorse Honorable Jeremiah Cole as our candidate for the MDR. That's what I know. Well, if I say, look, I don't want to eat GB right now, and then after an hour, I decide to eat, my stomach is okay, can I come in the GB and eat? Politics is not stagnant, I just told you. He's developmentally inclined on the ground, he got his any work all over the places in the district, in other areas. He's doing remarkably well, and so we will endorse him. All of the candidates that are running is the only MDR candidate that the CDC government will have to endorse also, because we're collaborating with them. The propagandists that recorded me secretly when I was speaking my mind at that time and decided to bring it up today, it's up to them. 4 days ago, I was home. I received no visitor. I was home. That's not true. No. I don't know when they did it, but they did it recording secretly. Whatever it is, the secret recording they're taking these days don't mean anything for me. We got to endorse Jeremiah Cole on Wednesday, and you overwhelmingly defeat all the candidates in Nimba. That's the new strategy they do these days. So it doesn't matter to me. If it was intended to destroy me or what, it doesn't touch me at all. Well, you better trust me, I'm a politician. A politician, politics, I just told you, is not stagnant, it's revolving. And sometimes something can cause you to say something one point in time, and when it is resolved, you can change. So it doesn't matter. For me, what I will tell you is we are supporting Honorable Jeremiah Cole, and Jeremiah Cole is up to the task, and you will defeat all
will
other
come for
candidates.
war crime court, and those who feel guilty will always feel some session. But every time you say war crime court, they say the ugly animal go bring water and baboon start making flour. By the time you say war crime court, Prince Johnson feel that you're talking to him. If he say he did the right thing to protect his people, go say it before the court. At this point, the impunity in this country is emboldening people to even be more corrupt and do things and to hurt this country with no fear that justice will be meted against them. And so at the mention of the name War and Economic Crimes Code, those who feel guilty at heart, even the Bible says, even the wicked flee when nobody running after them. At the mention of the name War Crimes Code, Prince Johnson goes into Irie. I think he will run away from session every session, because every time I will remind us that we have to do War Crimes Code. We got the culture of impunity must come to an end. No, then they don't understand the issue. The issue is about the culture of impunity, transparency, and accountability.
What I mean that why you be
transparency and
Why
accountability.
not when we had on-mail sitting down here? Why not when Helen Johnson told you she spent money on the rebels? Why not when you had men that are sitting down in power today, confessing that they did this, they did that? You never brought the war crime court, but it is now that the wounds are being healed and you want to bring the war crime. Why now?
So
then why did the international community allow her to run for the presidency? So even the international community are abettors of the crime in Liberia because she should have never ran. I'm saying the UN is an abettor to the crimes in our country. We should stop this thing. These our slave masters are still running our countries and messing us up.
Representative George, where do you stand with the
Where I
establishment
stand,
of the war crime court?
I say, why now? That's my question.
Why now is just a question.
Why now is I do not accept it now.
You don't want it.
So when do you want it? After
It should have,
President tenure?
it should have been ever since. You have allowed Helen Johnson to be president for our country for 12 years for what? After she abetted war, she told you she financed the war, and then they put her in power. Why now? Now that we are in charge, check the TLC report. What does it say? What does it depict? What are the conclusions concerning the TLC report? You've breached it already by allowing the past president to run and then assume power for 12 years. Then you coming to us now and talking to us as if we are fools. You think the Liberian people are fools? You want to bring commotion in our country? Let's take the wall and see what is happening out there. We as the people's deputies must take it to our people.
Okay.
Hold town hall meetings once, twice, thrice maximum and discuss it with the people. And from what the people say, because we'll have the press there, we'll have some of you there. When I'm holding my meeting or my meetings, you will be there. I will hold a meeting down West Point. I will hold a meeting at the Newport Junior High School. I will hold a meeting down the PHP Center Street area. I will hold a minimum of 2 meetings, but I would like to go 3 big ones that we will have people assembled.
Then one more year, the cost Nyobli Kanga Lauren lays in along the boulevard around the new ministerial complex. That house was constructed for her by her former partner, Mr. Cyril Allen, during the MPP days when corruption was flourishing in the country. So she has zero record on fighting corruption. Then you come to my friend Dillon. Dillon is an indecent opportunist and a dishonest charlatan.
But Anthony Jackson,
did I hear you say
dangerous hypocrite? This man here will not serve Liberia well. Today, as we speak, Dillon, who was talking blah 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 blah, lays in along the boulevard around the new ministerial complex. That house was constructed for her by her former partner, Mr. Cyril Allen, during the MPP days when corruption was flourishing in the country. So she has zero record on fighting corruption. Then you come to my friend Dillon. Dillon is an indecent opportunist and a dishonest charlatan.
but Anthony Jackson,
Did I hear you say
dangerous hypocrite? This man here will not serve Liberia well. Today, as we speak, Dillon, who was talking blah 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 blah. What did you hear about him? Abbottier, Senator Abbottier, he said, hey man, yeah, he almost a political Pharisee. He's a hypocrite. In the day, he telling me I corrupt. In the night, he crawling on his belly, pathetically begging me for hand out. Have you heard Dillon to issue any rebuttal to that statement? No. In the law, that statement qualifies as what? Adaptive admission. When somebody says something about you in the public and that thing is not true, the duty is upon you to denounce, to refute the allegation. The law says if you do not refute that allegation is presumed and assumed to be true.
Anthony
So
Jackson,
we call Senator Thier accusation against Dillon to be true. When Musa Belete, out of anger, announced on OKFN and say that Dillon man here who say I saw to Paul, he will never say that about me because I sponsor his campaign. They don't ever announce to the Liberian people that Musa Belede took some of his corrupt money to sponsor his campaign. No. He is not an earnest person. And so all the adjectives ascribed to him, they are befitting of him.
Anthony Jackson, last evening I listened to you on Freedom FM and you were so sarcastic, if I would say, for the better choice of words.
Who are pretending to be something when they take leadership in our country? What we see will be worse. Brother, because the guys are morally bankrupt, they are morally bereft of any sense of decency. The man who will lie about a high school paper, brother, how can that man be authentic? Today, since 2009, the disco revolving around Dillon High School paper, he has not produced evidence of his paper. He has not produced an authentic wire certificate. And you say we should just leave it. What Liberia do we seek for if we are going to glorify people who are dishonest? People who will lie about things that are obvious and provable. What Liberia do we seek for our children? Your children, my children. They will look up to leaders who fake their high school paper, brother. Is that what you want? In 2005, and I gave this to President Weah. In 2005, when President Weah, political officer Mr. Samuel Tuer, was saying that Mr. Weah was a high school graduate, President Weah, in earnestly, was on Verita Radio and announced to the country and said, oh, no, gentlemen, I didn't graduate from Wellstone when I started my football career. I was in 11th grade when I left. If President Weah was earnest about his high school people, why is Dillon not earnest today about his high school people? Why he covering up? The first thing Dillon posted in 2004 that he graduated from high school in Buchanan, Grand Bassa, where we all grew up.
You said rest there, you brought dirty rest in the country, your cause on
I ate somebody rest yesterday. Not a dirty rest.
But what you were saying, you say the people in the plaza rest, you said that you pull it down. So I don't expect you to say anything otherwise. You said rest there, you brought dirty rest in the country, your cause on
I ate somebody rest yesterday. Not a dirty rest.
But what you were saying, you say the people in the plaza rest, you said that you pull it down. So I don't expect you to say anything otherwise. You said rest there, you brought dirty rest in the country, your cause on
I ate somebody rest yesterday. Not a dirty rest.
But what you were saying, you say the people in the plaza rest, you said that you pull it down. So I don't expect you to say anything otherwise.
I like it. I like it.
trendybeats.com.
For some reason, I enjoy this tune, and so I like it to play for a bit of time and let me enjoy myself a bit. But good morning, folks. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And today is come on, today is Thursday. What's going on? Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday, the 27th day of April 2023. I need to drink some more water to stop the thing I'm doing. But good morning, folks. Welcome to the program this morning. It's great to be here this morning. I'd like to say good morning to you in Bombing County, Grand Cape Mount, Grand Bassa, Magibbi, Mansorado, Bapolu, Lofa, Grand Jide, Sino, Grand Crew, River Cess, River G, Nimba. Yeah, good morning to the great people of Nimba County. Welcome to the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. Trust me, today is a different day. Very interesting indeed. My name is Fidel Sadie, and I'm here this morning.
More music on
well, you have to be from the crude vernacular to understand this one. But good morning and welcome to the program this morning. And it promises to be great as usual, because there are lots and lots of things to talk about. It's taking shape. And yet the pastor can say, receive it. The politics of the day is taking shape in our country this as we move closer to elections. And tomorrow is the D-Day for the Unity Party. But it's not much of a surprise because the cat has already been let out of the bag. There's no information control. Yeah, I mean, it happens all over this country. We don't know how to control information. But interestingly, we have some juicy development from you obtaining from the angle of the opposition. And another one from the angle of the ruling party. A lot of people taking place everywhere. We'll talk about that this morning. But so many things to talk about. The European Union resident representative to Liberia has decried the issue of voter tracking. The National Elections Commission has said that beginning May 5, they will begin the documentation of individuals who are involved into pre-campaigning activities. And so we'll be talking about that this morning as well. Then at 9 o'clock is the big one. We'll be talking all inside Unity Party. What's happening there? A meeting was held on yesterday. We will tell you who was part of the meeting, the outcome of the meeting, and the facial expressions on the faces of those in the meeting. We'll be telling you more about that this morning on the Morning Breeze. And so, as always, we give you our traffic alerts, our motivational quote, and African proverb, and as well go across the country and speak with our correspondents. You did not miss it this morning. And as a matter of fact, today is a long presentation. Denise is on another assignment. And of course, we're trying to expand the tentacles of ABC Radio. And so we're leaving no stone unturned. Welcome to the program this morning. Share our video on your social media platforms. We are now live on ABC Radio 105 Official on our Facebook page. And you can also get us on YouTube. If you are in the diaspora, you can get us on YouTube. If you're in Liberia, you can also get us on YouTube. Just type in ABC Radio 105 Official and get us live on social media. You can also download the Radio King app via your Apple Store and Google Play Store on your Android devices. And search for ABC Radio 105.1 Official. And so, welcome to the program this morning. It's great to be here as always. Let's bring you our motivational quote and African proverb.
trendybeats.com.
Our motivational quote says, believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. And that's Christian D. Larson. He says, believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. That's our motivational quote for the day. And our African proverb says, the sun never sets without fresh news. That's a Congolese proverb. The sun never sets without fresh news. Every time the day climaxes, some kind of news you gotta come up. Welcome to the program. It's interesting this morning, Thursday morning. And so let's give you our traffic alerts. You already know. Be aware of the traffic along the Rehab Junction. Another traffic alert is at SKD Boulevard. Yes, at SKD Boulevard. Another one is at the Far Forte Junction around the Ministerial Complex. And expect another one around the Oro Junction just before you get to the Invisible Sports Park. And before Vamoma, yes, around the Vamoma area, there's also traffic alert right there. Be aware that there's always traffic there. And it's due to the flow of vehicles from Central Town, from Painesville, and then from the Matadi area. And on the Toronto Street, 20th Street, Sinker, you should also expect a bit of traffic there as well. And as you approach town, expect traffic around the Jalatown area, the intersection, Jalatown, and the route to Capitol Hill. Expect traffic right there. And if you're coming from the Bourgeois Island, expect traffic around the Beer Factory area, just around the Momotown area, around Carwell Bridge, the New Georgia Junction in Carwell, Jamaica Road Junction, around the Freeport of Monrovia. By the way, the site from Bourgeois Island heading towards town has been opened wide, and so that site is used by both vehicles from town and those that are going to town, because the route on the right from town has been closed due to the ongoing road construction. But the road construction is taking shape along the Freeport to Bourgeois, Freeport, that is Freeport to the Douala end. The culverts are being planted, erected, and the sidewalk is also being erected. Kudos to the Ministry of Public Works. We look to see what goes on from now to December, the speed of the construction process. And if you're coming from the Japanese Freeway, expect traffic around New Georgia Junction, around Battendersville Junction, and in some cases around Stephen Turbot Estate. But that is actually a rarity. And so those are our traffic alerts this morning. Welcome to the program. Interesting. Let's now go across the country and speak with our correspondents. Just before that, let's look at those who are watching us via our social media page, Facebook to be specific. Okay, we have to take our correspondence quickly. Yeah. My friend and brother Aaron Kofachi is watching this morning. Morris Burford II is also watching. Keep sharing the video. And get more people to tune into the program this morning. But let's go across the country right now. Let's go to Grand Bassa County, where our man Prince Yukon J. Wamplu is, and find out what's going on in Grand Bassa County, Buchanan. And hear from our man Prince Wamplu. What it seems our man Prince is not on the alert. And so let's cross over to Margibi County. But before then, we'd like to say never mind to our correspondent in Grand Crew County. That's the man Frederick Coleman. He's down with the weather. Never mind to you, Frederick. But let's see whether we can run to Margibi County where our man Walcott Kiri is and find out what's going on in Margibi County this morning. Is the superintendent's office still dirty? Is it still filthy? Has been reported by Walcott Kiri. Do we still have issues with the Liberia Electricity Corporation in Margibi County? What our man Walcott Kiri is on the line right now. Good morning, Walcott.
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to all of our valued listeners.
How is Margibi County this morning, my brother?
Margibi County is relatively calm and peaceful. It's just that all of last night we experienced heavy downpour of rain, and the weather condition is somehow cold this morning, but everything is going on fine this morning.
Okay, that's an indication that we're navigating into the rainy season very soon. All right, but tell us, what's the trending issue in the county this morning?
There are so many trending issues, but the Liberia Electricity Corporation, LEC, the citizens are calling on the management of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, LEC, to at least try and regulate the current situation that is unfolding in the county.
What does that mean?
The current is fluctuating and it is not constant, and as a result, businesses are going down, and most of these businesses are subscribing to the LEC. But when current is on, they can able to maximize some business, some profit, at least to continue to subscribe to LEC token. And as a result of the constant fluctuation, and even LEC is not available in the city, is creating problem for the business sector.
Okay.
And also properties are also getting damaged, because when the current can come, it can come in a very high rate, which leads to at some point in time property damage.
Okay. Now, because I wanted us to clearly state what the fluctuation is. Is it that the current is at a certain point low, it goes low, and then it goes high? Is that what you were speaking about?
Yeah, it is happening at that rate as you are speaking. Most times the current can come low, and most times the current come high. You know, so it's fluctuating. It's not really constant as to the normal rate the current supposed to be.
There's no stability.
Yes, as a result of this, property got damaged. You know, like in the business areas, in the entertainment areas, you know, there are machines like the set they are using to entertain customers. Because of the high rate of the current, they also damage their properties.
Okay.
You know, so they are calling on the management to at least see possible mechanisms to adjust the current situation.
Okay. Has there been any response from the LEC local authorities in the county?
Well, according to them, they said if you want to obtain some information regarding the press, you should go to their headquarters. But they, as local management, said they are doing all of their best, at least to check the various transformers and business areas and even private commercial houses to see how best they could regulate the current.
Okay.
And as we speak, they are on it.
All right, that's good. Now, what other thing we need to know from Margibi?
It's just that the county education officer for Margibi, representing the minister proper in the county, Honorable Stephen H. Toole, has vowed to continue to step up efforts despite the too many challenges in the education sector, at least to ensure that schools are running. As we're speaking, the 6th graders yesterday started their WAEC, and as we speak, he's on his tour, at least to ensure that all of those educational materials needed to push the education sector forward is made available now. But notwithstanding, it is heavily challenged in the county.
Okay, that's great. Any other thing? That's
Just that the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, LDA, need to step up effort at least to ensure that they regulate the activities of the drug dealers and even users in the county. And mostly our Liberian youth are in the high rate of taking in this narcotic substance, especially commonly known as kush, which our parents are grumbling, disturbing the younger population, especially in Magibi County, and they are now taking into this drug addiction issues more than their educational activities, which is also posing threats in their lives. So they are calling on the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency Director General, Honorable Marcus Zawe, and relevant authorities to see how best they could step up efforts, at least to see they can intensify their operations not only in Magibi, but other parts of Liberia.
Thank you so much, Wakat Kerry. Again, it's nice having you on the program.
Thank you so much. It has been my pleasure as ABC Radio County correspondent in Magibi.
Okay, it's Wakat Kerry there from Magibi County. Let's run to Bong County and speak with our man Nathan Kali. Nathan Kali, what's happening there in Magibi County? I mean, that's Bong County. Sorry, but the people of Magibi are complaining about the unstable nature of the electricity in that part of the country. According to them, it is affecting their appliances, right? Because LEC comes high, it goes low, and it runs into their appliances and destroy them. Our man Nathan Kali is now on the line from Bong County, Central Liberia. Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning, General Manager. How you doing, sir?
Well, we're doing great here. How are you doing?
We bless God for life, for the gift of life.
How is Bong County?
Bong County is relatively, as I speak to you, everything is normal. We have a very good weather today.
Okay, that's good. What is the latest we need to hear from Bong, my brother?
But the latest news is district number 5 is speaking as I speak to you. The current representative on the Elo Kava is also fighting for the senatorial seat. So that district finance is building. And one of the aspirants, she one of the female aspirants, Nyama Ekodi, she has promised to transform the famous Padawi waterfall. Padawi waterfall is situated in Swago district, and that waterfall is there over the years. And the current management has not been doing well for the citizens. Imagine when foreigners go there, people from outside of Bong County go there, you can pay the same money that people from Bong County is paying. So she says it's unfair. So only if you get elected, to make sure to work with international business partners to open the place and make out that tourism sector where should employ all the people from that community, and people from Yidi Kwale Swag will also benefit. If you go to Padawi Waterfall, if you enter, it's a $10 United States dollars. If you stay in there, or sometimes you pay little at $30 United States dollars. And the since living in the same country, the same days you are paying the same amount. So it's not like she says it's a very if this is people, especially people from Swago district, just to say,
no,
okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Nathan.
When it's sitting before the chance for to serve as the lawmaker should restrict the area to extract all the international partners to make it play that a bit to have some to have people facility. If you also pay $10, you pay part of specifically from that area, and you also grade the road there, because imagine from Phoebe to Padawi, the road is in a deeper condition, and people have been they're generating funds that the citizens are not getting the just benefit.
Now, who operates the Padawi waterfall? Who manages the resort now?
It's one. I say where June is the current management of that Padawi waterfall currently.
Is it under the ambience of the county leadership, or is a private private venture?
it's a public thing. It's not only the county leadership, and that's why many people have said over the year. Even the area like Padawi is situated, the road is not too good, and people from that community are not benefiting because they say by the current lawmakers from Elo Kafia, they wanting the MOU facilitating to have some shareholder in that facility, but so that yet to benefit from that facility, which people call that is a disagreement because that side need to gain some funding to the country, especially the people from that end to Akpalawi and Romontan in the Inswago district.
Now, how important is the Patawi waterfall to the local economy in Bon County?
Well, owner manager, Patawi waterfall is very important because it's just that the issue of the bad leadership. Or if you have a proper leadership, there you see people, the country will generate some fund there because on a daily basis, like on the holiday, people go there. You see some people from different places like Kanta, Mauritius, or even people from Ghana, or there in 2021 they wanted to transform the airport. Based on the MOU, the country authority wouldn't agree upon that agreement between the company that wanted to sign the document to take over the facility to transform it. Like it will be a tourism sector, like people will build horses around the area, that people will have hotel, other areas that people go there and see. Because the fall is a natural thing that manager go there. It's a very natural. It's just that the poor leadership that is harming the small provision, but it's a very nice area.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything we need to know from Bon County?
Yeah, she also work with the Kari, and she also work with Phoebe Hospital, because district number 5 is one of the districts that very is a blessed things of development. You have Carleton University, you have Phoebe Hospital, you also have Kari, and all major facility in district number 5. And just before I leave you, that we continue to see that the voter registration process is very, very slow. Several citizens yesterday they complained that they are not being able to get a biometric voter registration card. They have gone there 2 or 3 times. They have been denied because the process, like, you can spend 10 or 15 minutes for one person, and which some people have already expressed the enchantment over the process, because the process is slow to the extent that even you go there from 2, you leave from there 5. So people are saying most of the company is a waste of time. Most of them say better they say that they will not partake in the process instead for them to go stand a long queue for a whole day. No water to drink, nothing. So they are just frustrated.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, my brother. It was nice having you on the program this morning.
Okay, thanks for having me this morning.
He's our man Nathan Kali there from Bon County. Let's transition to Lofa County and speak with Samuel Bole in Lofa quickly. Samuel Bole is our man in Lofa County. Let's speak with him and find out what's going on in Northern Liberia. What's going on there? We need to know. All right, this is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Fidel City. Like I said, interesting developments are coming up this morning, and burn politics. There are so many interesting things coming up this morning, and we'll talk about those things with no fear. And it is taking shape, by the way. It is taking shape. The political happenings in Liberia is taking shape. Just to inform you, we have a new political party again, and this one is led by an apostle. Yeah, an apostle. He said he's here to make Liberia better. In fact, no Liberian will go to bed hungry. According to Apostle J. Aaron Wright, no Liberian will go to bed hungry. That's what he's saying. Well, LIB. So the political happenings are taking shape in the various districts. Unity Party has reported that she has consummated the consensus process of candidates in various districts across the country, and for the senatorial candidates as well. So we getting in shape small. October almost here. This much heralded October elections. Anytime you have conversation with somebody, October coming, you will see. I mean, it actually became a cliche that everybody you speak to, they'll tell you October coming. So I don't know whether we are fond of taking these radical decisions, but October coming, we'll know. Let's go to Sano County and speak with our man Elijah Grendo, because Samuel seems not to be going through this morning. I hope Elijah's network is okay. We're going to Sano County to speak with Elijah Grendo from Greenville City. That's southeastern Liberia, and find out what's going there this morning on the program. The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. This network team, if you get yourself from company, then network give you problem. Oh, God. Liberia, the land of the free, the land of liberty. Sorry, Winston. I actually didn't mean to offend you. This is what I win. Okay, we're trying to get Elijah Grendo from Sino County. We're not getting him. Let's run to Maryland County and speak with our man Patrick Mensah. I hope we get Patrick Mensah on the line this morning. If not, we come right here in studio and start with our discussions this morning on the program, The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Fidel Sadie, this morning. Our man Patrick Mensah is on the line from Maryland County. Patrick, good morning. How is Harper City?
Well, Harper is doing great this morning. I think Coronet has spent the night in Plibo Soluken District, a district that has been represented by House Speaker Buffer Chimbo. So I'm currently in Plibo Soluken District.
My man, let balling you.
Plibo is
the commercial city a hotspot.
And you see the kind of enjoyment that flows in Plibo compared to Harper. So I sometimes spend most of my time in Plibo.
Could this be an indication that the representative there is doing a great job?
Well, that could be another justification to that particular saying. But again, all of my see it that there has been some work done so far, and others will say no, but that has been
the norm.
The norms of other issues. But again, that could be another serious justification and other argument.
Okay, that's it. But tell us exactly what's going on in Maryland County, my brother.
Well, Maryland is relatively kind. One of the things I really love is this political fever. Where you have almost all of the lawmakers of Maryland County that are in the county to exercise what we call this biometric process. A few days ago, there was one of the representatives aspiring who has been creating this kind of serious concern from the people of Maryland County in person of one Antoine Philip Williams. He won serve as the president for the student government at the UL, and he contested in 2017 in Plibo Soluken District in Kinsenko to our speaker, Dr. Buffer Chimos. He first visited Maryland, and you saw that crowd that came out. And it has not taken any days when her speaker, Buffer Chimos, also arrived in the county, including the senator of Maryland, Senator J. Blebo Brown, and all the lawmakers. But again, Maryland is very interesting. One of the things that we really seen and being observed since the process began, this biometric process, is this awareness so far that coming from the lawmakers, including others, and their presence in the county has motivated more people to really turn out to go do what we call the biometric. But Villas, those are some of the concerns people been raising, and it's good for me to fleck it out. The issue about people placing people in the vehicles and taking them from district to district, taking them from county to county. That have been the alarming situation so far in Maryland County, where you hear more people complaining concerning people leaving Maryland County riding in truck to go to Grand Coulee, and it's being alleged because there have been this call from people, it's being alleged alleged that the Senate pro tem Albert Obachie has been the brain behind this. Though yet to be confirmed, because those people who are being choked, according to the information, when you ask one or two questions, they will say, "Oh, but we hail from Grenku. We want to go to Grenku. We want to go register in Grenku." So far so good. Since the beginning of these process, including the arrival of these lawmakers, the issue about people leaving from different destinations to go to other areas have been this alarming situation. Even people have been calling on the local radio, calling on the election magistrate assigned in Maryland County to take serious action on it, but it yet to be addressed. So far, those are major concerns that are happening in Maryland County, to be specific.
Okay. All right. That's good. Thank you so much, Patrick. It's great to have you on the program this morning.
Again, Vida, thanks so much. As we go beyond, as we encourage our people to turn out as the process commences, as the process comes to an end, we'll always be here to fill our people on the radio. But again, we want to say thanks so much for the time and encourage our people to turn in for this biometric process.
Thank you so much. He's Patrick Menza there from Maryland County this morning on the program, The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. Let's make one contact quickly, and then we call it a day right here this morning. The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. We do it like no other do. Yeah, that's what we do here on ABC Radio 105.1. Let our people know what's going on across the country. Okay, welcome back to the program this morning. Let's close it up right here on the correspondence segment of the morning show this morning on ABC Radio 105.1. Welcome to the program. Yes. You know, things are getting interesting. And I'll keep that conversation for 9 o'clock. Even though at 9 o'clock we'll be speaking with the chairman of the PUP. The PUP is the party where Limando Nukwit is from. The PUP. Remember some time ago, the PUP signed a resolution, all right, lending her support to the Coalition for Democratic Change. But the chairman of the PUP, Samuel Koga, says, well, that thing you're doing on your own. In fact, it is null and void. All right, it is null and void, and so they've according to the People's Unification Party's chairman, they're not aware about the resolution, and so they're calling on the Coalition for Democratic Change not to grant or accept any resolution from people under the banner of the PUP, because they believe that it will be done in a bad faith, and there's no need for such a resolution that is under the dark cloud to be accepted by the Coalition for Democratic Change. And so we'll talk about that later. Speak with the chairman of PUP, Samuel Koga. But the political race in our country, Liberia, is taking shape. Just before I get there, let's speak about this NEC issue. You know, I jotted some points down. We've always said this, that the sanctity of our electioneering process is very key to the election day itself. It's very key. Because if the process leading to elections or the processes leading to elections are not safeguarded by those who are responsible to champion the cause of ensuring a free, fair, and transparent elections, it means the day of the election will not even be fair. It means a lot of our citizens will be disenfranchised. So the outcome of the election will not be the general will of the voting population. We started raising these red flags from the experiences that we heard of and that we saw during the first phase of the biometric registration exercise. That the National Elections Commission needed to do something about this process so that people do not question the credibility of the National Elections Commission. Now, out of the reports that we received from Monday all the way to Thursday, there have been several complaints of delay in the registration exercise. And those delays are as a result of the malfunctioning of the equipment of NDC. In some cases, the solar panels are not working and that it cannot put on these equipment. And in some cases, the NEC workers there, after several hours of delay to commence the process, when their lunchtime comes, they say we're going for lunch, and they stay the longest. Those are some of the complaints that are coming from the field. Now, we are not saying that there will be a perfect process, considering that biometric voter registration is a new thing. But we believe that these safeguards needed to be put in place. That you cannot use a single machine at a registration center because there is a possibility that that particular machine could have a problem. Now, when you have these kinds of scrimmages taking place at various centers across the country, especially in counties where people have to abandon their daily activities, people who live in these hinterland and have to reach places, most of them are farmers, they are hunters. Now, they are being encouraged by the local authorities in those counties to come out and register. They are abandoning their activities, the hand to mouth they live on. Now, if they abandon their activities for a day or maybe few hours, it is the prerogative of the National Elections Commission to ensure that there is those places, those polling places are smoothly functioning, and the person does not have to stay 1 hour to be catered for or to be registered. That person does not have to stay that long. So the people have to stay that long, and whole day some of them will stay there and they will not get registered. They have to frustratingly go home because the exercise has not been vigorous. It has not been vigorous to the extent at which it should be. Now, these complaints continue to come to the National Elections Commission, and they are being brushed aside. Now, this is what happens if these people do not get registered. It means they will not vote. It means they will not vote. So the general picture of the electoral process will begin to be questioned. So it's not just about the National Elections Commission should understand that it's not just about people going to vote. It's about having a majority or everyone who is of voting age to register. Except in instances where those individuals decide willingly not to register, but everyone should have the opportunity to register when they want to. Somebody can walk for 1 hour from their place of residence to the polling center and they stay there the whole day without being registered. We've spoken about this time without number. I don't know why the NEC has not recognized this. Is it an issue of finance? Because the fact that machines that were used in Montserrado had to be taken to other parts of the country and that the registration exercise was even divided into phases, it means the National Elections Commission has got an issue with money. They have money issue. It's clear that they have money issue. So if you have money issue and you're taking these materials to these areas and people cannot access been registered on time, then we still have a problem with the registration process. And I thought that people who are aspiring in various districts across this country who have been alarming this situation, because a lot of people will be disenfranchised as a result of that. The NDC has to do something. And they played deaf ears to us during the first phase of the registration exercise. But if you were to look at the census report and the registration report, then you will know that the NEC has to do something about what we are talking about. The faulty nature of equipment that are taken to those various registration centers in phase 2 of the process. Those equipment were in the first phase. They were already giving problem. Then you took those same equipment and took them to phase 2 of the registration exercise. Obviously, you will still experience the same problem. So the entire registration process will not be as holistic as it should be because we have these 40 machines. And it appears the NEC seems bent on ensuring that the process continues. Like in phase 1, there was no grace period given. As the registration ended on that day, the NEC stuck on that day. They stuck on that day. And it's because that is what they've said to the National Elections Commission. And that is what they've said to the legislature. And that is what the legislature has accepted. So for there to be a change of this, a date or extension of date, there should be a consensus. That has not been done. So we will have a problem with this registration exercise. And the essence of elections is to have the people of the country who are qualified to vote to have their say in electing their leaders. If those people are disenfranchised, trust me, the process will be deemed as not holistic. That's how it will be. So we call it on the National Elections Commission again, as we've always done, to kindly do their best and ensure that these machines are functional, and talk to their election people who doing it. At least let there be an extension in the time of registration so that more of our people are able to register. If that is not done, in my mind, a lot of our people will be disenfranchised, which will not be, the results of the election will not be a general expression of the will of the people of Liberia. And in my mind, that should not be the case. All right. And now the National Elections Commission signed a caveat on yesterday. A few weeks ago, on the same platform, we indicated that there was a need that those who, counties that were part of phase 1 of the voter registration exercise, where aspirants had their pictures on different signboards and signposts across those counties that were in phase 1 of the registration exercise, we are taught that they needed to put those things down. Because, look, you don't have to say, vote for me. No, you don't have to necessarily say that before you be campaigning. The fact that your picture is on a flyer, the picture not just empty letter, but it say, Team Fidel City says, go and register. That in itself is an indication that you are canvassing. I wonder you getting me. The fact that your picture up, and you have to be a student of communication before you understand this, that a picture says 1,000 words. A picture says 1,000 words. That means you do not have to verbally utter a word. The fact that the picture is there, it depicts a lot of things. So, the fact that your picture is up when campaign period is not up, and mind you, these aspirants are very clever. It's not that they were so fixated on carrying registration message awareness across the country. That's why they were doing it. If that was the interest, they didn't have to place their picture on those bulletins. But it's intended to do imaging. All right? The image says a lot. When you look at a person's picture, it says a lot. So they were communicating to the people that they may, in your district, in District 7, vote for him. That's why they had these pictures with the awareness messages. Don't get it twisted. So the fact that these pictures are still up, that is an indication that they are still pre-campaigning. even though they have not necessarily said vote for me, but the fact that those pictures are up, they are putting themselves forward for election. So the NEC also has to make sure that these people bring their flyers down, even though they've given a grace period. They've said that from May 5, that is when they will begin the documentation of people who are involved into pre-campaigning. So if May 5 comes, if they see a flyer up, in my mind, the NEC should be able to document that and say, you need to put your picture down. And we said here this last time, and at the annoyance of some seditions, that, look, you had a program since when? I think it was February. This Blue Day. And we still have pictures of Mr. President all across this country. Across Monrovia. We still have pictures of Mr. President. Why the picture then offer? Could that also be interpreted as pre-campaigning? So, okay. Maybe another presidential aspirant like who just come in, who want make sure that no Liberian goes to bed hungry. Apostle J. Aaron Wright could get this and say, I put him a picture all across Monrovia because he has the financial capacity to do so. He has it. Put a picture all around Monrovia. And he say, I put in awareness messages for cleaning Monrovia. For example, now, he is selling himself. He is selling himself. And I've also seen picture of Alexander Cummings around the Freeport Inn. That picture has to be brought down. That big billboard are there. It has to be brought down. It has to be brought down. Those awareness messages and this won't go vote and this and Blue Day something. You need to bring all of those things down. That is another form of pre-campaigning. Even though the words are not being altered, but the fact that your pictures are all around and everyone knows that you are contesting is an indication that you are also campaigning. And I hope the NEC recognizes that. That all those people who have their pictures all around, they need to bring them down. On billboards, on flyers. Maybe it's difficult to get all of those flyers off the walls in different communities, but the billboards have to be brought down. They need to be brought down. And the NEC has to look at that as well. So if you say nobody on pre-campaign, when nobody forced to hold megaphone to go across the different districts to say, oh, this, that. No, nobody has to do that. But those pictures have to be brought down. And we'll try to get in contact with the spokesperson of the National Elections Commission, Henry Flomo, to note the position of the NEC on those billboards that are still up, even after the biometric voter registration exercise. Why are they up? And whether there's any legal right, but morally, these people need to bring these things down. And I thought it was very important to state that. Now, let's go to the Unity Party. We have at 9 o'clock, we take the response of the government to the U.S. ambassador. We'll read in depth that response. The Unity Party. Tomorrow is the D-Day of the Unity Party for the former Vice President Joseph Newman Boakai to announce his running mate. But you see, the thing about our country is so funny. It's so funny. Before something happens, the entire country finish knowing what will happen. I thought this whole thing about announcing running meeting supposed to be secret and everybody yearning and waiting for that. But it is already clear that Jeremiah Kun will be the man to go with Vice President Joseph Boakai. So that whole pronouncement thing tomorrow will just be ceremonious. It will just be, everybody know. But though, look, you see, information management is very key in any organization. And one of the reasons why the CDC government continues to suffer backlashes is as a result of lack of information, internal information control. And when there's that lapse in an organization, there is a tendency for infiltration. Everybody knows say that Jeremiah Kun, former Vice President Joseph Boakai, going to announce tomorrow. Somebody will say, oh, they're not problem, but let people know. Look, the sensitivity of certain pieces of information makes it so bad that that information has to be out so early. Even though then people were preempting, there were 3-4 runners. Senator Yumli Kanga Lawrence of Liberty Party, even though it's been contested that she's not a member of Liberty Party again, because the chairman, who is the legitimate chairman, has expelled her from the party. But Yumli Kanga Lawrence, Heron Costa, and Jeremiah Kun were the 3-4 runners that Ambassador Joseph Boakai was poised to pick his running mate from. But it has become very clear now that he will pick Jeremiah Kun, which gives opposition parties, other parties that are, against the Unity Party, including the ruling party, to have ammo to counter that particular ticket through either propaganda or through pieces of evidence that trace to the activities of the running mate, so as to take the flavor away from the program on tomorrow. In fact, the fact that people are already aware of who's going to be named on tomorrow, it takes away the kind of significance that should have been placed on that program tomorrow. And you will not understand if you're not au courant with communication. But it takes away the flavor. It should be news. It should be something that people are looking forward to because they don't know. But everybody know now. But on yesterday, according to our source, the former vice president held a meeting with one of those who was being looked at as the individual who should have been picked by the former vice president. This individual came to the table with a lot. With his popularity, he came with his personality, his acclaimed disposition on issues. Besides, he came with a proposal of having the finances to campaign the former vice president's to finance the former vice president's campaign. Money is very key to an election process. So the ALP has always supported Vice President Joseph Boakai through Benona Yure, Telia Yure, Henry Costa, and others who are part of the All Liberian Party. They've always supported the former vice president. Now, they believe that they have a stake in who becomes president of this country, and they've done that significantly. You remember the situation with the Alexander Cummings? They were able to engage Alexander Cummings head on. Whether legitimately or not, that is another thing for another day. But they stood in the gap for the former vice president to protect him. If anything, they gave relevance to the ticket of the former vice president when others were pulling back from Joseph Boakai. Clearly, through their different engagements, be it propaganda, be it political party engagements and what have you, they supported him. So there was this high hope that one of theirs, through Henry Costa, who have been picked to go as running mate to the former vice president, Joseph Boakai, the political leader of the Unity Party. That did not happen. And so a meeting was convened on yesterday with the former vice president, according to our sources. But folks, interestingly and quite legitimately, there was anger in the room. There was anger in the room. The ALP is angry. The ALP is angry with the former vice president for his choice of running mate. Clearly, we all know is Jeremiah Kun. It's Jeremiah Kun that will be named on tomorrow. They are angry. So you should expect, and what I'm sensing is that there could be a little tussle along the way. And so people from the Unity Party should brace themselves for that. There could be a tussle from the angle of the ALP. And in fact, the ALP may not support the Unity Party. They may not support Vice President Joseph Boakai. The ALP, they've seen that their efforts in supporting the former Vice President, in ensuring that he remained relevant in the political space, that has been thwarted. And they have been paid unjustly. Look, politics, the reward for politics is not in heaven. It's right here on earth. And so anybody who gives support to you, it means they have to get something in return politically. So they have their own bidding. They have their own standard. The ALP believes that they've been treated badly by the Unity Party. The ALP believe they are the only political party that stood by the former vice president throughout all of the situations he has had over this period before coming at this point. Throwing them under the bus, they believe, is a show of ingratitude. And from our sources, they are willing to fight back. What would that fight be? I don't know. But they are telling us, our sources are telling us that they may not give support to former Vice President Joseph Boakai. Besides, not only not giving support, but the side they will give support to, they will be on the front line to ensure that that side wins. And whatever it takes for that side to win, they will do it. So this is an uphill battle. Like I said, I'm told the former vice president could not face these people in the face. I mean, he could not look them in the face. And you know, when you know say somebody not do good for you, right? That good there. You look at the president and the president may having some kind of expectation. And then you and the president go see in the same room. How for you to talk to that person is hard. That is the situation we are told happened on yesterday. The former vice president could not look in the face of Bernard Ayew. We are told he could not also look in the face of Henry Costa, because he himself consciously he believed that he played the people. He played the people. So, anger there. We are looking forward to the response of the All-Liberian Party. If the decision is made tomorrow, the pronouncement is made tomorrow of Jeremiah Coon being the man who is going along with the former vice president. From all indications, he is the man who's going. And so, you're expected. You're expected. Because, you see, what happened here is there were promises made. I mean, there were assurances made to these individuals. Not only is Henry Costa and the ALP disenchanted, Nyomli Kanga Lawrence, Senator Darius DeLong, they are all disenchanted as well, because Nyomli Kanga Lawrence was not picked as well. So, it's like a twin battle that's going on. Former Vice President Joseph Boakai has a lot to do to reconcile with these people, as it appears, because if he doesn't, it might be an uphill task for him. Nyomli Kanga Lawrence believes she should have been picked. She should have been the one who should, the former vice president should have taken. They have stood by him like the ALP. They've stood by him. Jeremiah Coon was nowhere to be seen. He was with the CDC. In fact, he was supported by the CDC in the midterm elections that he won in Nima County, where he fucked up over 30,000 votes. He was heavily supported by the CDC. So they have thought that to have Jeremiah Coon at this stage is a betrayal of the trust of those who stood by the former vice president. So they are angry as well. So that not only one party angry with the former vice president, there are two parties now, ALP and the Nyomli Kanga faction of the Liberty Party. They also angry. So that is there. That is right there. I'm not talking plenty in the morning. That is right there. Let's see what happens tomorrow. 077-105-100. 077-105-100 are the numbers to call this morning. The Unity Party, tomorrow is the D-Day, the 28th of April, is when the former vice president picks his running mate, announces who is running with him. It is the D-Day, and there's disenchantment already on the camp of the in the camp of the opposition, specifically the Unity Party, and the ALP is angry. The Yomli Kanga Lawrence faction of the Liberty Party is also angry. The vice president has an uphill task. What happens between now and tomorrow? Good morning. Good morning, my brother. Let's hear you, my brother. Okay, thank you. Let's take another person. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Okay, this person is not ready. 077-105-100. 077-105-100. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, brother.
Mm-hmm.
This is Fabian Kamara and I call from George.
Let's hear you, my brother.
Look, the whole thing here about who Vaga choose or who Vaga don't choose, we all are Libyan. Whether you are there or Vaga from the day, event, talking about anything on who to choose for his money, we don't care about that one now. All we care about here now is Liberia issue. Youngly have been lost and every one of us that we know for sure. We then anticipating young people even the bad of the Vaga. We all need that from the beginning. But if school has no sources now, and they say the natural school, let us just work together. I see no reason why even let's say Silona and Yomi will be angle, as you are saying, and even let's say ALP where they don't need you to also be angle along with Costa. I see no reason why they should even do that.
And you think the people support the gay? They're not supposed. Go ahead.
If they have to keep on doing those things, and the thing they say Yomi and Silona may have on this issue. We're not talking about what they think now, we're talking about our country.
Okay.
We're talking about how to redeem this country.
Thank you, my brother. Let's take another person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, this is Jerry calling from Ghana.
Let's hear you, my brother.
Well, you see, like, players just don't like to face reality. Something that we will not accept in the whole city. That's what we want other people to accept. The old man, as people said, he has wisdom. He can understand the person in no situation. He's sure as you know. The men of time he took, putting all of those hands together. Obviously, we're going to bring problems. People with wisdom, they know it. This is not his first time. It happened to him in 2017. He delayed, put hands together at the end of the day. He just grabbed and moving at it. The same thing he has done to the party this time around. Then people sitting there don't want to face the reality.
Okay.
The reality here is that everybody will be there. There are serious problems among them now, even with the charism. So they're not prepared. They don't know. He said that the poor have tax. And you have to confront it. Then what he did, he put people here together and kept them to the end of the time.
Yeah, giving any encouragement, I will choose you. I will choose you. I will choose you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Let's take another person. Good morning.
Morning, Peter.
Good morning, my brother.
Okay, this is the group when I'm calling you from two community.
Let's hear you, Seku.
Thank you for your education. I agree with you 100%, but you know, Fidel, that only one person will be vice president. Let's forget about because let's talk about then I what to consider the mayor house. No, without no.
The man got constituency, but he was supporting Joe Bwaka from day one.
I'm coming. But election is number one. But like for me now, you coming to ask me that Yomi I wanted. For the decision, what the vice president, who knows? He knows the best for me. I wanted young people. However, for me, I'm still very disappointed in that area. But I will say support here. Come to the Costa. They just the Bwaka win. You know, they in charge of 7,000. Meaning they will need a team for that one personal team. It's not the country. They get a lot of government work.
Okay. Thank you so much, my brother. All right. Thank you, Sekou. Let's take this person. Good morning.
Good morning to the city.
Good morning, my brother.
My name is Fariku, and I joined this morning from brother.
Mm-hmm.
The issue about the old man Joe Baga selecting that guy.
Jamakun.
Yeah, probably is a more level of misfit because I expect him to carry petrol. Reason being, carrying Kun, where you have to join certain as about 5% behind the scene, or charge for you. Secondly, the issue of Iran, the issue of the war code will not be signed. You still get the guys, around him, the screen of business, they are more advanced compared to us. It was to that people. It was just fair. It was just fair. Because mind you, maybe this one will be taking the statement for him. Then I know the old man, is a dead man. No.
Okay. Thank you, my friend.
You will never take exactly. But in mind, you better stop with him. Supporting him. But the only way you will betray him. And I know politics. I don't really know about everyone on politics. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. 077-105-100, 075-105-100 are the numbers to call this morning. The former vice president, it seems, Jeremiah Kun. And the ALP is angry. The Liberty Party, Yumbli's Kanga Lawrence's faction is angry. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, ABC? How are you?
We're doing good.
My name is Benny Wisha. I'm calling from New Massaria State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a member of the Unity Party. And I don't really know what the people really want. These two countries, they are not really giving up president who will serve a real democratic thing. Lufa, Nima, at least the full country that this is the full one of themselves, which is a grand leader, the giver president. So why don't we leave this the wisdom man or just a Nima Bokai to choose who you want? When they choose Yombly, what it means?
That is seeing wisdom men that chose Nukweo.
Yes, but Nukweo was not bad president. He was on Liberia.
No, I'm gonna. All about it. We won't be president of Liberia now.
Are we looking at Liberia or are we looking at our personal individuals who, when they choose there, will get angry and say we want a safer?
Politics are interest, brother.
Yes, but let the interest people in Liberia. For me, I'm from Maryland, but I'm supporting Joseph Nima Boga. You think why I'm supporting him? Because I know that he has something that he wants to prove to the Liberian people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
We good. Go ahead.
Yeah, the issue about Joseph
Your name first. Your name first.
My name, Anthony Collins from the province, Water Corner.
Let's hear you, my brother.
Yeah. The issue about Joseph Boker picking a running mate of Jeremiah Kun, I think those are discussions have been happening in us. If those people are angry, I think they will try to disclose it to the public because that's a arrangement that has been done. You know, in politics, there's no permanent friend and no permanent enemy. Yesterday, Prince Johnson and John Ware, they were best friends, and today they are far apart. That's what politics does. PUP, Nukwe, and Imaya Koka, they were friends yesterday. Today, they are far apart. So, normally, that's how politics looks like. So, at the end of the day, we will try to resolve issues and see to settle the dust and see how to, to carry on their operation. So, let's wait and see. If those people are angry, I think they will disclose it to the public that what the women Boka have done, they are not in the know and they are not pleased with it. So
okay.
They will disclose to the public and the public will react to it.
Okay, that's why you have sources. Well, that's why we're here as a custodian of information to reveal it to you, even if they don't see it out like that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Fidel, and good morning to your listeners. My name is Jeremiah J. who I call from district number 17.
That's you.
Yeah, thank you very much,
want to be a propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If this is not a propaganda, I'm not saying you are wrong or your sources is misleading you. But if this is not a propaganda, then I will have serious problem with those who have problem with the former vice president. So it means that they have not been talking for Labio. They have been talking for themselves.
But who the vice president been talking for? He been talking for Labrador?
For the vice president?
Yeah.
The vice president, I've been talking for Labio. Sure.
All right, go ahead.
My issue here is, I told somebody the other day, for the behavior of politicians in this country shows that no Liberian love Labio. We can only say it, but we don't love Labio. Because if we truly love Labio, we will not be after one another. So the issue here is, I heard one of your colleagues talking about Wakanko will not be sound because the vice president picking Jeremiah Kun. This is it. The same error that I said the Babi made in 2017. So the man decided to keep quiet. That he said he will presently edit to this that was for him. So now the man cannot say those things to someone the man can get it no more. So when the man get it now, the man has a gavel, then he will do what he want to do. So I'm going to say Wakanko will not be sound. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. 0777 105 100 0777 105 100 555 105 100. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, brother.
Good morning.
This is Jimmy Jasmine. I go up on the old road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my brother. If only what you are saying is true on the radio, for me, my only advice I gotta give to the opposition is simple. Mr. Costa has never wanted to be vice president for now as far as we concerned. You getting it?
Mm-hmm.
And then young people from the beginning of the whole CPP thing, they were never discussing vice president issue. All they were thinking of was Waka being the senior bearer and Kumis being the vice senior bearer. We don't want to go back to that same old mistakes from the CPP, wherein they don't also made that only mistake in the other party to the one thing that will move that issue. Liberia is what we're thinking of now. We love young people to the fullest. We've been thinking about young people being vice president of Waka ever since Kumis left. How we've been thinking we Liberians. And if today, let's say Jeremiah Kumanimaka has to service, we got no choice now. Decide to take our country.
So d'ailleurs accepté bon yomli mo accepté tout.
For Yomli will have to do so for the sake of Liberia. You get me? For the sake of Liberia, if any mistake is made here now, the only political career will also be a problem for them tomorrow.
You think so, huh?
We are watching everybody killing the suffering that we're going through in Liberia here. They see that they got money and enjoying themselves, let them enjoy. But if they can't mess up with this election, we have to take this power back. It will own them tomorrow.
Okay.
Anything they put in for in Liberia will not give it to them.
All right.
The young people, the law, the whosoever that will go against the very thing, the scope of retirement, we now support too much in Liberia. They still the children can get school fees to go to school. We don't even have a business, you can't even get one step of our business.
Okay, my brother.
But nothing went all over the place. So let them get understand themselves and get work and be now with Liberian people. Now what we want is change. Only job we have to let it happen, then we get our country back.
All right. Thank you, my brother. We can solve the problem. Thank you. Let's take another person. Good morning. I'm good.
Jay is kind of calling you for program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the information people are passing with me, whether it's sometimes people to teach or distribute information in that form. Everybody has to get a view, everybody has to get a message on the matter that concerns everybody.
That's the only reason why you call too. You gotta get a view. And you want to get a view too?
Yeah.
Go ahead and get a view now.
The woman, the teacher in joke. Yeah, sometimes people will see that they would not expect it in that form. But that is the leadership. Sometimes the reason for which you have taken the decision, you may know the reason. But the only problem I have is, before taking the decision, people that were working with him before, they had to have into this thing. I don't know whether that was wrong. But they had meeting with these people. They say that they had to control one another before they take the decision. Because you can't just come up because you are the head, you take decision, or you find out anybody say, I the head, anything I say, then you become a bad leader. But if you consult people, that we are on the matter, we are happy on the thing before, we are starting to struggle. The decision we want to be because of the business. That makes a big share among you people.
Okay, he's gone off. Okay, but he didn't consult the people. It was just yesterday. The former vice president has not consulted them. He gave everybody the hope that you will go as vice president. Oh, Smith, that you will go as my vice president. Denise, that you will go as my vice president. My Godfrey, that you will go as my vice president. Giving promises to everybody. Then at the end of the day, you pick somebody from behind the people. Then you say they will not be there. They will be there. The people there, by the way. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, my brother.
Good morning, Pray.
The Lucky J.
Of course. An anger against a king's man must not and should never be fed in the bone but on the flesh. Whosoever is being chosen, let us follow the bitter pace and pass
Oh, Jeremiah Kuma just be sitting down to a party headquarters. The other people must finish working. Then at the end of the day, what I'm choosing, then the people be happy.
Okay, so be it.
Okay, thank you, Lucky J. The make quick to go. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
It is Prince Claro calling from Capital Papa, the co-chair of administration of the exhibition.
Okay, pull live in your voice mode.
Yeah, are you getting me now?
Yeah, I'm getting you. Go ahead.
Okay. The appointment that will take place tomorrow, you know, the promises when you are a leader don't promise so many people. And politics is an interest. Politics is a complete interest. People express their interest to get back. That's why the prayer is our common denominator. But you don't blaspheme people, promising that you give them the opportunity tomorrow, then it's a deception. You know, that woman Jolie, why the former people did is not correct. No, you are not in the picture when we're going through the crisis.
You are not there. You are not nowhere. The man was sitting in Nima County.
Going through the crisis.
And
you expect, you know what is power? You know what is power? So this will be dragging. People who suffer from being dragging. That's why nobody will just come on and solve it. So it's a complete deception.
They say the man say normally they're not getting number. Costa they're not getting number. So you choosing Jeremiah Kun.
If you whip massively, that would be the error that he make. He will be whipped massively.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. Let's take this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say good morning to you, Peter and Dennis. My name is Alvin Daniel, and I call from the UN Drive.
Yes, there you have it.
Let me appreciate you people this morning for the talking point, and also let me appreciate Almighty God for pumping breath into us, our voice to be heard. You know, I'm not discussing the confusion that is already within the United Party camp, because there will be confusion from the both sides, which is the Nombi side and that of the Henry Petro Costa side. But I want to bring people to watch out for what Henry Costa just said. We will not get vice president in our country who's selling him a pass. So Liberian people, it's time for us to open our eyes to see how best we can re-elect president. We have our role connectivity, so we can compete with another African country.
Then I'm you go over let finish you 077-105-100 055-105-100. Even you think about you not stay in one office where you where you do all the dirty work. Then they go take somebody from outside and can say you that my man move from there, man. You not correct. You think the people will not be there? Now the people there, then you asking me why they there? In fact, because I like bureau, so they're not supposed to get there. Where you not see that thing? Good morning. Good morning. Okay, this person is not ready. Let's take another person from here. Good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Lasante Roland Trube. I am the chairman for Progressive Action to Elect Honorable Akai.
Are you one of those who's angry?
Not at all. Why should I be angry?
But the man has chosen someone who was not in the picture, as those who are behind these people are saying. Just take the man from anywhere and come and pick him as vice president.
That argument is irrelevant to where we are.
What makes it irrelevant?
Look, let's look at the bigger picture. And what is the bigger picture? We have a tax on our hands. And what is that tax? It's to rescue this country that has gone, that is almost going to oblivion. It's a Hegelian tax. And that tax needs people of like minds. We should put our personal ego aside to make sure we can bring all hands on deck.
is not static, it's dynamic. And you know when a situation changes, the tide changes. So let's always keep our mind open and look at the bigger picture, like I said, which is Liberia. So I call on all those who may be disenchanted. Disenchanted for what? If you were in it for a cause, let's stand for this cause. And the cause is to redeem this country. Let all of us stand by Joseph Newman Bwaka and ensure that this country is redeemed.
Okay.
Whether you were selected or not selected, you are still on the boat. This stream is enough to accommodate everybody. Let's all of us get on board and move this stream forward.
Okay. Move the stream forward. Even after I spend my own money to make sure the party is intact. Won't just be on the train. Won't just be ordinary people on the train. Morning.
Yes, morning.
Morning, my brother.
Yeah, I call you from Bonneville.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there seems to be people who want to say they quick to forget. But I promise all the people openly that will be a fact. You know, with Jumbly, they had a whole 7 years program in Buchanan, where she stood there and Waka himself was there and said people nominated her to be vice to him, and he accepted his nomination. That's something that somebody did not say. If you're negotiating with people and you give them hope of certain positions, that one there will be no problem. That means we want to carry this man as our senator of Fini. But he agreed with the Basel that he will take Yombi as his senator.
Yeah.
He accepted that petition. In Basel, he left when he came back. You were to say, I want nothing, I want Kevin Parker. When you were senior, you had interest. The interest is not Henry Costa. They spend money. Who will take somebody put in 3 charter flights, carry them Nigeria, carry them Ghana, carry them over the same and they have meeting free with all interest. They say like Lord. They didn't put me in like Lord. That is interest.
Yeah.
We must face the reality and say the truth to the Liberian people and start defeating the Liberian people tomorrow. They will come damage the country again. Talk about rescue. Why can't you tell me somebody to rescue him? Then you say you can be rescued as well.
Okay, my brother. Thank you so much. All right, let's take another person. We talking this thing here. Yeah. The benefit working, then you say, oh, let's do it for the bigger picture. What kind of picture be more than you say? Money?
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Standard Tamila calling from Niso, the baby Saturday.
You doing it for the bigger picture too?
My man, the former VP, you ready here. For that battle, man, you know, I should game and forward the second young when it will be fair. But it's not fair, man. So I think it's one ground of Jeremiah Kun find a place to go. But for me, I prefer to give my full part of Georgia because the men are steam up. The men doing nothing. Just when you cannot position there, enjoy yourself and they're rich yourself. I know a former minister for my editor, former minister of education. Right now, the men broke. I'm going to make give him money around. The men tell me that when you forget win, they're at the time of the job. So they want to change it and come in.
Okay, that's somebody on that. We can't depend on that narration. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you very much. Keep your calls coming. 0555-105-100, 0777-105-100. It seems that there will be a big confusion. There will be divided loyalty. I mean, disenchantment is already going on from the side of Yumbli's. I mean, from Yumbli's side and from Costa's side, the ALP side, so to speak. Benona Ure is angry. Henry Costa is angry. Telia Ure is angry. There's anger everywhere. And legitimately so, because these people stood by the former vice president through thick and thin. They took bullets for him. You chose Jeremiah Kun, who was having party with the CDC. Did he cross over? I mean, politics are interest, yeah. Whether you like it or not. I think you're talking about a bigger picture. No picture be more than yourself. Morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How's everything?
Right, you low now.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting you now.
Yeah, I'm Vama calling from Ghana.
Let's hear you, Vama.
Yeah, but I know when we're telling people that Joseph Bwaka is not fit in politics, people feel like we're saying it all of the way. But when you look at it, what the decision in Nigeria make, you know that it's not fit because on one part, politics is of interest. Now, understand that. Only may can make it to win election election and also make it to lost election. Those people been with you all the time. Just political party make decision. You fail to make decision because decision that hurt about 60%. You understand? So when we give this man authority to rule this country, what's going to happen? We will go by the best. Because on the one part, I expect as a veteran politician of Liberia, what I expect for Joseph Boakai is to go for, dialogue fight between all these people that you expect to run with you.
Exactly.
Go for dialogue, stand there, you sit down on one table. You even make agreement on this with pen and paper that anybody have been choosing. Everybody should agree to first support that person. Everybody should agree to it. That's the first method we expect from Joseph Boakai. You understand? Right away, you go into referendum. Let people make their choice. Why Joseph Boakai don't let referendum? Same thing that Tommy Fair put there and take lead from inside or he didn't lead. These are the same thing that come now. Because you don't like to go into election, you want to make, that's a monarchy for the government. You just join, make, decision for everybody. That's why you did. Men are in a photo, the men are steps down, people that been with you, stay in a gap of you, Ben US dollar were beating the two soon.
Yeah, I'm okay tell you in District 15.
Yeah, Ben US for that year, and you go for protest to make the government look ugly. That's what he.
Okay, my brother.
Thank you, brother, for the topic.
Thank you so much, my brother. Let's take one more call and then go for our break on the program this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Fidel, and good morning to our sister Benny. David Harris now call from Benson Street. Fidel, my take on the whole issue when it comes to the issue of Honorable Boakai former Vice President. I think those that are wanting to support the former Vice President of this government, their focus should not be on who he will select as his vice running mate.
Why do you think?
Since indeed they're wanting to unseat this government, their focus should be on rallying around him. Whoever he selects as vice running mate, they should hold it as constant and rally around him and see how best they can unseat this government. Those are in the opposition. And lastly, Fidel, on the issue of NEC, I just want to thank you for elevating this topic every morning. I think the NEC will have to give an extension after the period they have given for people to register in the United Countries.
Okay.
We are calling upon them to see how best they give an extension. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll pause on the calls right now. Go for our break. When we come back, take a few more calls and then read the response of the Liberian government to the release of the U.S. embassy through its ambassador Michael McCarthy. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1, and we hope to also speak with the chairman of the PUP, Samuel Koga, Representative Samuel Koga, this morning. Welcome to the program. Let's take this break and be right back on the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio.
I like it. I like it. Trendy beat.
Bokonjida Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company.
You put my enemies under my feet. Because I have you, I face no defeat. Higher and higher, I give you the praise and I give you the honor because you're the king. You love me personally. See the testimony. You get the glory. You get the honor and everything. Yeah, you love me personally. See the testimony. You get the glory, you get the honor when everything Papa do, Papa do, Papa you too good, Jehovah you too kind, see the things that you done for me, Papa you too kind,
the good things that you they do, you just scatter my hand. Oh, the many blessings you bless me, I cannot tell it all. I thank you. You love me personally. See the testimony. You get the glory, Lord. You know you love me personally. my testimony. You get the glory, Lord. Yeah. Baba, you do great now. What an enemy you are. Baba, you do good. What an enemy coming up. Baba, you do great now. What an enemy you are. Baba, you do good. What an enemy coming up.
Are you ready now?
Personally,
see the testimony.
Testimony.
You got the glory. You got the honor and everything else.
You love me personally. You know me personally. You get the glory, Lord. Hey, hey.
Yeah, Obadu. Obadu.
Jehovah Obadu.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Jehovah Obadu. Papa, you too kind of.
You too good, you too good. Jehovah Obadu.
The blessings of our day.
Jehovah Obadu.
The mercies of our good. Jehovah, you too kind of. Yeah. Papa, you too kind of. You too kind of.
It's Chai Keys on the beat.
Are y'all ready now? Skibidi bam bam. Na 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 na. Oh na na. Yeah yeah. Oh na na. Yeah yeah yeah. Oh na na. Yeah yeah. Oh na na. Jehovah Obadu. Papa, you too good, Jehovah, you too good, Papa, you too kind, Miracle working God, give you all the praise, give you all the glory. You alone deserve it. You put my enemies under my feet. Because I have you, I face no defeat. Higher and higher, I give you the praise and I give you the honor because you're the king. You love me personally. See the testimony. You get the glory. You get the honor and everything. Yeah, you love me personally. See the testimony. You get the glory. You get the honor and everything. Obadu. Obadu. Papa, you too good, Jehovah, you too kind, see the things that you done for me. Papa, you too kind,
The good things that you they do. You just scatter my hand, allow me, what did anybody bless you bless me? I cannot tell it all. I thank you. You love me personally.
What a pleasant way. I'd like to welcome you to the program this morning. And of course, we're discussing lots of issues Key among them is the current happenings in the Unity Party. As you may well know, the standard bearer of the Unity Party will announce his running mate on tomorrow, and all of us, to a certain extent, are aware that Jeremiah Kun will be announced as the as the vice standard bearer of the Unity Party, also to speak the running mate of the former Vice President Joseph Boakai. And so parties who've been associates to the Unity Party, who've been along the way with Joseph Boakai, they've expressed from our sources they are very disenchanted with the decision of the former Vice President to have chosen Jeremiah Kun as his running mate, because he had given them the impression that they would have been the chosen ones. So it's like coming to me and telling me, assuring me that I will go as a running mate, going to John Brown, telling John Brown you will go as running mate, going to Peter Paul that you will go as running mate. Then at the end of the day, you disregarded John Brown and Peter Paul and chose me as the running mate. So there will obviously be disenchantment, of course. Sometimes in these cases, it's just about going straight to the point and telling the individuals, look, this is the person that I've chosen, and I'm sticking with that person, and I want you to back me in supporting that person. I mean, at least it would have been fair. But to have just disregarded those individuals, promised them, and then disregarded what they actually you've promised them is very wrong, and that's what we've been talking about here this morning. Let's take a few more calls on that issue, and then we'll go to the government of Liberia's response to the U.S. ambassador Michael McCarthy, and this I thought I had it here. Where is it? Okay, yeah, I think I got it right here. Okay, I'm missing out. Okay, there is it. Here is it. I got it right here on my computer. All right, 077-0105-100, 055-105-100. Let's zero in on this Joe Boakai and his people thing on his choice of candidate of running mate on tomorrow. As I said earlier, the issue of information dissemination is what a lot of institutions have problem with. Internal information control. A lot of institutions have a problem with this thing. Before they really talk about what's supposed to, they make any pronouncement, that thing already out. And the same thing can happen in the government. Before the government do anything, the information already out. I mean, internal control is very important. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Latansia Roland. I just want to make this clarification.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you guys in the media can sometimes inflame situations.
There
have been no point in time where Ambassador Boakai has promised anybody that they were going to
licentiate, because you are not aware. You are not aware. Look, listen.
People have
Hello.
had their own ambitions.
No, those ambitions were there. They were visible. But then, if you have a conversation with the man who's supposed to be making the choice, and instead of looking into your face and telling you that, look, I have already decided on this person, or I have not made a decision, and keep making promises to you, then there's a problem. And that's the problem with unveiling. Then you say, yeah, he didn't make promise.
The problem with politics is not mathematics.
It's not mathematics. So that's it.
According to time and size.
And you see that? Then you confirming my information now.
And everybody must have open mind when you are entering into politics.
Now you confirming my
say will not be today, and today will not be tomorrow.
So do you agree that you are confirming what I have just said?
No, I didn't confirm anything.
But you,
that was that people have their own ambition. They were right to have their own ambition.
And
but
that,
at the end, where your ambition doesn't come forth, then you live by the decision of the day.
Okay, thank you, licentiate.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but let's go straight to this statement released by the government of Liberia in response to the U.S. ambassador. As you may well recall, the ambassador of the United States released a statement the day before yesterday regarding the state of affairs of Liberia. He had taken a tour across a part of Liberia. In fact, that is something he has been doing in Liberia. According to him, he made a promise to Congress. That was prior to his confirmation by the U.S. Congress that you would have been an ambassador of Liberia and not Monrovia or Montserrat County. And so he took upon himself to tour the entire country during his tenure of service here in Liberia. Of course, he's still here. And based on what he's seen, he did the last tour in the southeastern part of Liberia. And after that tour, the embassy released a statement, and there was a scathing criticism of the government of Liberia regarding the statuses of health centers, of county health, service centers as well. And it went haywire. In fact, it went viral on social media on the position of the U.S. ambassador. And the government was being taunted by opposition figures on the content of the ambassador's message. For them and people like us who've followed the issues and who've spoken about some of these issues, we believe that the ambassador was very correct on most of the issues that he raised. All right, and concerning firstly the conduct of legislators, the entire legislature, so to speak, their conduct has been very appalling in that they've been very indulgent in the activities of the executive, especially when it concerns making key decisions that require their input. They were very, very much open up to accepting whatever the president said. They were not streamlining instruments from the president. Once it came from the office of the president, it was a let go situation. Even though on several occasions the deputy speaker has indicated that they sometimes do outside consultations, and so when these instruments get on the floor of the plenary, what they basically have to do is just to go by just the different rudiments that are involved, and then they take a vote, which is required. So in his mind, that was a good thing on the part of the legislature, that they are able to do consultation in a backyard and just come in plenary and make a decision. And that's why they did not stay too long on most of those issues that were sent to the House by the president. Now, the ambassador raised several issues, like I said, ranging from the condition of health facilities across the country, the status of county service centers, and the conduct of the legislators. Now, the government of Liberia issued a response signed by the Minister of Information, Lejehu Rennie. And we will endeavor to read that statement right here. The statement was actually drafted on the day before yesterday, and it was released on yesterday. April 26th, and it reads: Monrovia, April 26, 2023. The government of Liberia acknowledges the concerns raised by U.S. Ambassador Michael McCarthy in a press statement released on Monday, April 24th, in which he highlighted the state of some health and education centers in the rural parts of the country, as well as efforts Liberia is making to decentralize development. The country continues to make significant progress since the end of the Civil War, which tore the nation apart for more than a decade and sunk it further into poverty. Recent efforts, including by the Weah administration, aimed at reviving critical infrastructure as it reinvests in health and education, have gotten much acclaim from various bilateral and multilateral partners. These efforts have been accelerated in spite of global economic challenges, which have slowed growth in many parts of the world. While the government recognizes that there is always room for improvement, particularly in the allocation and disbursement of funds for essential services, the narrative as expressed by Ambassador McCarthy is inaccurate. Healthcare, for instance, is one sector in which the government continues to expand its efforts to increase coverage in order to meet the needs of millions of Liberians, as well as hone the skills of service providers. This, in fact, was the central theme of the recently concluded Third International Symposium for Community Health Workers, which was hosted in Monrovia and attended by hundreds of delegates from around the world. Many speakers, including those from the World Bank and the Global Financing Facility, cited Liberia as a powerful example of how crucial it is to build a healthcare workforce. And for this, the government remains grateful for the goodwill and support it continues to receive from all development partners, including the U.S. government, without which this feat would not have been possible. The assistance has proven vital to the giant strides the country has made over the years. It is important, however, to clarify that the US 60 million referenced by the ambassador is not money coming entirely to the government of Liberia, as has understandably been skewed by politicians with an eye on the upcoming elections. Only a small fraction in government-to-government support, which is disbursed only after proof of performance, goes to government. The rest is expended through US's own funding mechanisms directly to a select project implementers. The government remains dedicated to investing in critical health infrastructure across the country as it builds clinics and hospitals while also prioritizing human capital development. Liberia is therefore thankful to the US government for its decision to complement the government's efforts by agreeing to construct a national reference lab. The government has disbursed hundreds of thousands of dollars in resettlement action plan to affected residents and can assure the Americans of Liberia's full preparedness to run the facility when it is completed in a few years. Various initiatives are currently ongoing to train and retain healthcare professionals as a means of ensuring that all Liberians have access to quality healthcare services. As was announced by President Weah during his State of the Nation's address, a revolving fund is also being set up to address the perennial problem of drug shortages at some facilities. Similar efforts are being made in the educational sector as the Weah administration strengthens the free and compulsory primary education initiative, as well as the improvement of school infrastructure and the training and support of teachers. The government is also building new model schools and developing standard curriculums, which have led to major improvements in students' performance in WAEC or WAS. The Liberian government values the long-standing partnership it shares with the U.S. and believes that open communication between both governments is important to the sustenance of this historical tie. Data from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning and validated by the Ministry of Health have been attached as proof of cash disbursement to health facilities nationwide for year ended fiscal year 2022. Well, we don't have that attachment as yet, and so we cannot speak to details of that attachment. It's only indicated in the press release. This provides much needed explanation on the spending and disbursement pattern to health facilities within districts, towns, and villages across the 15 political subdivisions of Liberia. The summary also provides key information and clarification on actual disbursements and the mode of disbursement to health centers and the reporting requirements in order to correct the assertions made in the ambassador piece that no funding was reaching health centers. First, about disbursement. Under fiscal year 2022, about 7.2 million was disbursed to more than 70 hospitals, clinics, health centers across Liberia. This amount represents operational activities and excludes salaries of employees, rent, drugs, and vaccines, which are provided by central government through the national budget or with the assistance of development partners. This amount includes 4.9 million United States dollars, representing about 175 USD checks cashed out of the GOL consolidated revenue account, and about 350 million representing more than 148 checks and cashed out of the consolidated account to fiscal year 2022. The healthcare facilities include referral hospitals, clinics, county health centers, etc. The disbursement report and analysis as attached show that some facilities received their operational support in both United States dollars and Liberian dollar, while others received exclusively in Liberian dollar or United States dollar. The top 10 receivers in the report accounts for 3.8 million, or 59% of the total US 7.2 million disbursed to the 70 plus health facilities across Liberia. The top receivers include referral hospitals such as Jackson F. Doe, CB Dumba, Phoebe Hospital, School of Medicine, Telawea John F. Kennedy Memorial, and Redemption Hospital, etc. The below table summarizes the disbursements of resources to health centers or health facilities referenced and discussed in the preceding paragraphs. Well, we don't have access to those documents as been indicated in this press release, and so we can go detail to this press release. So let me take this quick water break, quick break, and be right back on the program and discuss this release by the government of Liberia.
See the testimony, you get the glory, Lord. You know, you love me, personal. Testimony, you get the glory.
Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1, and yes, welcome back to the program. And so the government released this statement signed by Lejehu Rennie, and it's intended to respond to the U.S. ambassador. Now, there are key issues that was raised by the ambassador. First of all, the 60 million, the issue of 60 million from the taxpayers, U.S. taxpayers' money, as disclosed by the U.S. ambassador. The government of Liberia is saying that they are not receiving this 60 million in its entirety. They're not taking the 60 million and giving it straight to the Liberian government. That is what the government is saying. That this 60 million, a portion of it is given to USAID, the United States Agency for International Development. And they decide the institutions to give it to carry on different development initiatives, whether capacity building or engagement in the health sector or education sector. But a portion of this money, according to this release, is given to the USAID, and only a portion of it comes to the Liberian government. Now, the government is also indicating that she has supported different health centers, and I do not have the chart to speak to the specific numbers that are attached to health centers across Liberia. Unfortunately, it was not attached to the release, and I thought that should have been done. That was not attached. All right, I do not have a copy of that. So the government is basically saying, in a nutshell, that they have supported health facilities. They have supported the operations of health facilities as opposed to what was said by the U.S. ambassador. And in this release, they said there are checks that were disbursed to these health facilities by the government of Liberia. We have not seen them, and we don't have access to them, and so we can't speak to the veracity of the information as indicated in this press release. But this is as much we can see. Monies can be given to different institutions. I mean, whether government institutions or private institutions or what have you. But when these monies are given, there is an objective. And the objective is to improve these facilities. If these monies were given and these facilities were not improved, as indicated by the U.S. ambassador, and as most of us can see when we go to health facilities in Monrovia, is just in Monrovia. If you go to health facilities, Redemption, for example, how filthy Redemption is, go to JFK, and how filthy JFK is, you would doubt that this money, as indicated by the government of Liberia, is being given to those health facilities. Now, it is not our duty to see how the money given by the government of Liberia to these facilities is used. It is the government's responsibility to know how these monies are used. You know why? Because there is a report that should be given by these facilities. For example, the Ministry of Health, as the body responsible for providing healthcare services to the people of Liberia and monitoring the provision of healthcare services across this country, should be able to give a report, a budget report to the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Finance as to how they expended the money that was allocated for different hospitals across the country. That report should be given. So we are interested in seeing those reports. Remember, some time ago, the legislature was crying that the Ministry of Finance was not giving budgetary report to the Ministry of Finance. But quite stupidly, the legislature was still giving money to these facilities, to these ministries and agencies. According to our budget law and the public financial management law of Liberia, there's no money that should be given to any agency of government when there's no budget report to account for how the previous one was used. That should be the case. And because there's been this buddy-buddy relationship between the executive and the legislature has played blind eye to receiving reports from the Ministry of Finance on how the budget was executed. So as a result of that, you will see that these health facilities, they are not being monitored as to how they are expending the money. So the government of Liberia, central government, may be right that monies are being expended according to what they are saying. I'm not siding with them. I am saying they may be right. But the fact that they are not going after to check how these monies are used, we still have an existence of the problem that have been on the books a long time ago. So these problems are not being solved. Nobody is solving these problems because there is no check and balance. Nobody going to see whether, okay, the 250,000 I will give to Telewaya Hospital did not make some improvements in the health facility. They are ensuring that the facility is clean. Nobody checking. So it seems like the ball is in the court of administrators of Telewaya Hospital, for example, or Redemption Hospital, for example, to see how that money was used. Because nobody checking on them to see how it was used. So if someone pays a visit there, they will see firsthand that the facility is not good. That the environment is toxic. That there is no good sanitation in a hospital. Because nobody is checking on that person. So at the end of the day, the government tends to take the responsibility. So if the ambassador is saying that these facilities are being underfunded based on what he sees with his EYES, it means that it is the government's responsibility still. Whether you're disbursing money there and you're not seeing how that money is being used, and every day you're just sending money there, it is your responsibility, especially the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health, that you are not checking on these facilities. And apparently because there are people who are indulgent of the actions of those who are operating these health facilities or managing the affairs of these health facilities. Truthful, the government has made some investment in the health sector, especially when it comes to capacity development. A lot of doctors have left Liberia to go for study. That's good. So after a period of time, those people will come. But when they are coming back, what kind of infrastructure are they meeting in place? What kind of infrastructure? Is it the one that you enter and hold your nose? Is it a facility that you go to, and if you have malaria, the malaria will double because mosquitoes are everywhere to be found? Is that the kind of facilities that these doctors will meet? So the government must go a step further. Instead of justifying the money that you've disbursed to these facilities, you should be on the watch to see whether these monies are used for the right purposes. It is your responsibility. It is no one's responsibility. So the ambassador must still be right that monies were not disbursed. Because if money was disbursed from his place he's coming from, he would have seen the different changes that are in those facilities. He wouldn't go and people been crying that, oh, no drugs here. You have to go. And even in central, in the heart of the country, Monrovia, when you go to JFK, you will be given a slip to go to Lockheed Pharmacy just across the road to go and buy drugs. And you, Minister Legend Rennie, you are in government. And I guess you are aware of this. If you are ever gone for treatment at the JFK, you will understand that you have to go across the road to buy drugs. You are given the prescription on a piece of paper. Now, think about what's happening at health facilities in the deeper part of Liberia. What is happening there? Think about that. So the government might be making strides in ensuring that monies are available at different health facilities, but because they are not cross-checking to know whether these monies are disbursed as are used appropriately, so it still falls on the government. It's like thinking that you are solving a problem when in fact you are not solving the problem. So the government should not be seated just in Monrovia. The county service centers. What is happening there? Well, I did not see the response from the government in relations to that. But the government is saying she is making some strides. But those strides can only be seen if the money is used for the right purpose. And the ambassador indicated that if it is not that these monies are being disbursed, it means somebody somewhere using it. And why he said it appears to be a relationship between those who are in the county, those who are from the Ministry of Finance, and those who are in the health sector. That even though we know say the money in the budget, the money is supposed to be given, their money has been disbursed, but that money is not being used for the right purpose. So it is now the responsibility of the Liberian government through the different agencies and ministries. For example, the Ministry of Health. All right. It is the Minister of Health's responsibility to ensure that there is a check across the entire country to know exactly whether the monies that are given are being used for the right purpose. But when these people form cliques, they don't want to know whether these health facilities have drugs. They don't want to know whether these health facilities are clean enough for sick people to go there. Look, when the environment is clean, when the environment is clean, when people go to health facilities, that alone is a source of revival. You do not have to spend a day in the hospital and think that my home better than the hospital. And that is what we see across our country. Health facilities are more, especially public health facilities, are more or like seen like death spots, and being home is quite better. And that should not be that way. We see the whole civil war thing ended in 2003. A new government was elected in 2005. And so we should have made deep strides in the health sector. We should not be complaining about things like drugs and what have you. We should not. That's not the conversation we should be having around our health sector. We should be having a conversation about bringing the latest technology to deal with serious health issues in our country. That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. Like the way the president dedicated the dialysis center. Those are the kinds of infrastructure and new technologies we should be bringing in our health sector, instead of us still discussing paracetamol and chloroquine at our hospital facility that they're not there. Where our government had to respond to the U.S. ambassador's statement. It was based on what he saw. So, Minister Rennie, you see, you have a difficult job to do. And I understand, because I found myself in a similar position. And your job becomes easier when those on whose behalf you speak, when they are doing what they should do. It becomes easier. It means you can easily outline the achievements of government without any hassle. Because that will be just the thing you are concerned about. But when you are given that kind of task where you have to be responding to the excesses of officials of government and agencies of government, your task becomes very difficult. And that is exactly what's happening right now. It becomes difficult. So I will endeavor to get this data as released in this statement, so we can look at the figures that are going at those various health centers. Then we can say, look, it is those health facilities that we can hold liable. They are the ones to be held liable for what we see at these health facilities, if they are really supported. 7.5 million. Yes, 7.5 million. That's not small money. 7.5 million. That the government say she gave to health facilities for fiscal year 2022. And they get a spreadsheet. And at that spreadsheet, we want to look at the various health facilities, and we'll look at the heads of those health facilities to know, ask what they are doing with that money. Because if government is giving this much support to those facilities, then they should not be in a deplorable condition that they are in. If that's the case, then they should not be in those kinds of deplorable conditions where people worry. You go to health centers, you can't get treatment, you have to pay for everything. There are people who are down the economic ladder. Look, when you see the destitution that some of our citizens live in, you will be sorry for them. So how is that person who's struggling to get ends meet manage to go to a health facility that charges $50 to go across the road to buy pills? How is that person supposed to manage? I mean, that person will just die. And that should not be the case. With a smooth and functioning government, there should be nobody who should die from curable diseases because the drugs are not available and the person doesn't, or the drugs are not available at public health facilities and the person does not have the money to buy them. It's sad. It's sad. And so on the issue of education, I thought another data would have been released by the government, but they made reference to the report from WACS that they're making investment in education, and that because of that, that's why we see performance in WACS. Sometimes it's laughable to me. Yeah, the government did the government did a pretty good job. The fact that they are taking the pressure off parents by paying the fee, WACS fees for students, that is a remarkable job. That is good. Very good. But then it is the education ministry's responsibility to ensure that the quality that is coming from our educational sector, the quality that is coming from these schools, they are properly assessed. It's not just about putting all graduate. It's not just about people passing WACS. It's about the quality that comes out. The quality of students we are putting out. It should be the concern of the government as well. Passing WACS is not a criteria for determining the quality of people that you graduate from high school. Neither is it a determinant of knowing the quality of people that graduate from universities. That is not it. So premium should be placed on primary education. On primary education. There should be a premium place on primary education, so that the next generation of Liberians will not go on Facebook and write in a way that you ask yourself, you sure the person go to school? So now the question we can ask, you sure the person go to school? Because the writings are so terrible. So that is another thing that the government has to do, assessing the quality that comes from our high school. It's not just about people passing WACS. Okay. So the government responded to the issue of health. They responded to the issue of education, but the issue of the service centers was not responded to. And of course, they should have also responded to the issue of the legislature. The government did not respond to that, and I guess maybe because they want the legislature to respond on their own behalf. But it is the government of Liberia, Minister Julius Rennie. It is the government of Liberia. It is not the executive. You do not just speak for the executive. You speak for the government of Liberia. So you should have responded to the statement of the ambassador in its entirety. Every issue that he touched, you should have responded to that. At least to clear the side of the government that, look, our partner, we are aware that there are challenges, but these are the things we are doing. But I guess he does not want to respond, and the government does not want to respond entirely. They just want to respond on behalf of the executive, which in my mind is not an impression of the coordinated nature under which the government should operate. When they're doing the debate, they can operate coordinatedly. But when it comes to the issue, they want separate. So, okay, we expect the legislature to also respond. But I don't expect them to respond anytime soon, because Buffer Chimo, the in-county registering, they are rallying their people to go and register. So we don't expect a response. But again, it was a responsible thing on behalf of the government, regardless of the content of the response. But to have responded to the ambassador was a good thing. But in a diplomatic way, people had thought that would have not been done through the back door. Had a consultation, called the ambassador, and have a conversation with him instead of coming. But it's also important that this clarity is provided in the public, because opposition figures are using it as a weapon against the government, so the government had to come public to respond as well. So those are that as the response from the government of Liberia. You listen to what we read here. What is your take? You think the government is right? The ambassador remains right in his disposition on the issues in Liberia? Is he still right? In fact, with the clarity provided, like I said, I have not seen the spreadsheet. I have not seen the different allocations to hospitals or to schools across the country, so I cannot respond to the detail of that. That will have further deepen the width or heighten the weight of the government's response. 077-105-100, 055-105-100 are the numbers to call. And maybe because the government not so much is available to give as response, maybe that's why it is. But that's it. the ambassador is not working free because the government has responded. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1, and this is Fidel City on the loan presentation. Denise Nipson is attending to a key part of our operations here, and that is the development of the capacity of our staff members. And so she's at a workshop ongoing currently in Sinca. Keep your calls coming. Put your calls through. Let's hear you. The government has responded officially to the U.S. ambassador. What do you make of the response of the government of Liberia? And we've provided an analysis of the government's response. We think the realities on the ground are the things that matter, instead of just indicating disbursement here and there. And maybe the reason why these things are not being realized at various centers is because the government of Liberia is not making strong efforts to ensure that the monies that are given are used for the right purposes. And if that is not done, it still falls on the government. It means the government has not worked holistically to ensure that these monies that are given are used for the right purposes. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
We good.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Bona and I come from the Baba.
You listen to the government's response.
Yeah, to be realistic, the government, the project, the fraud deception. If you do a research on for entity, that get hospital alone. Many money are being allocated in the project for some entity. They can't receive that money, or they can't receive everything. For example, they will go and maybe $5,000 in the project for entity. Now they give $4,000. If you do a research to the entity, don't just do it for hospital. The government pay over everything. On the third one, I'm telling you, when they go somewhere, you are director, and then if you don't receive all your money for entity, if you don't maybe you can issue with the government. So you like to hear people speaking about it, but it happening. If it happening, it's the government keep the power. It happening. So the people, for some of we keep on everything. On the third go, we see that we born here, we are growing here, and then we born our children here. But then we see what's going on. No improvement, no plan, no vision, we continue to grow.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Yes. Thank you so much. Let's keep your calls coming. 0777-105-100, 0555-105-100. The government of Liberia has responded to the U.S. ambassador's statement, and she has indicated that, of course, the ambassador made reference to the monies that are coming from the U.S. taxpayers' dollars, and he said the monies are being given. And what the government has been fixated on is even using those monies to allocate it to different health centers when there's no surety that those donors' money will come. But the government has said that the money that is coming from the United States government is not coming to the government directly. All of those monies are not coming to the government directly. And because it is going through the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and it is the USAID that look at different organizations working within Liberia and support them. There are organizations, of course, when you hear their promos on the radio, you hear supported by USAID. So some of those monies are going through those institutions, and so the government entirely cannot account for the entire money that's coming to Liberia through USAID. I mean through the U.S. government. Liberia as a country, Liberia as what we have as an existing government cannot account for all of the money that are coming from the United States government, because all of those monies are not being given to the Liberian government. Some are being given through different institutions for implementing USAID projects. All right, for implementing USAID projects. So in another, okay, America won't give Liberia 100 million. Okay, Liberia, let 100 million they give it to the government. No, the government say they're not the US doing. They say, okay, Liberia, we're giving 100 million to you, but the 100 million that we're giving to you, we're not give all to you like that. Maybe we'll give you 30 million or 50 million or 40 million, and the rest of that money we're using it to put it through different organizations that are working in your country. Take for example ARED working. Take for example Centaur working. So they put it in a different organization. Now the government saying we can't hold all responsible for the way the other organization and use the money. And quite fairly, the government cannot be held accountable for how these other institutions use the money given to them by the U.S. government. So they thought to make that other clarity, which is very important. It's not that the monies that are given to the Liberian government by the U.S. government is going entirely to the Liberian government. No, I mean, that is one of the clarities that the government of Liberia provided, which I think is very key. All right. And then they also indicated that 7.2 million United States dollars have been disbursed to 70 hospitals. 70. And 70 is very huge, just a huge number. A very huge number. It has been given to 70 hospitals. Now, what I'm interested in is to see a breakdown, and we will do our listeners the favor that, I mean, yeah, justice, that is. We'll do you justice. Tomorrow morning, we will get a breakdown of all of the disbursements that have been made by the Ministry of Finance to see those hospitals that have benefited from budgetary allocation from the government of Liberia. Because by that, you will have a clearer understanding of why these facilities are the way they are. So like I indicated, if these monies have been disbursed to these health facilities, it means these facilities or heads of these facilities are not using these monies for the right purpose. And if that is the case again, it means the monitoring and evaluation arm of government is not doing her work. Because when monies are given to institutions, the essence of those monies is to be used for the right purpose. If that is not done, it is the responsibility of the government to cross-check why that has not been done and why these facilities are not operating the way they should. Because at the end of the day, the blanket comes right on the central government, and it is believed that the government is not giving money for these facilities. So those are things that must be put in check by the government. You see, public relations starts from the implementation of the objectives of an institution. If the objective of an institution are not met and what the institution should do is not done, there is no way the public relations officer or the minister of information will be armed enough to give out information on behalf of the government. That's not possible. And it works across all institutions. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Mm-hmm. And let me appreciate the Almighty God again this morning for the beautiful talking point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I will agree with the UN ambassador and also agree with the Liberian government respond to the US ambassador, because if the UN ambassador is talking about 60 million and this 60 million is not even coming passing through the Liberian government but passing through using.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that the government will do with the money they will get, like, for example, if the government puts 10 gallons of water, they will go to the user and tell them we are putting 10 gallons, and the user will go and do the observation and get receipt to the government. So I think that the US government, or ambassador rather, was supposed to go beyond close before coming up to the public. Now the opposition is using it as a rah. So I like the way the government came with a response, but the government has to do more than this. They have a response to what they respond. If they have to make president like black people so that people can understand it well. Because the poison in the country is too bad. How you say one teacher poison even to a hospital? I mean, for me, I'm sorry to say, but it made no sense to me.
Okay.
I really appreciate the government response.
Thank you. Yes, again, we have, because me personally, of course, when we received the statement from the U.S. ambassador, we read it in depth, we interpreted, in fact, I did it in simple English, colloquial, for people to understand. So it is also our responsibility now to read in depth the response of the Liberian government. And so it is important that we receive the data as indicated in this press statement, so we can name those health facilities that have been supported by the government of Liberia. All right, so we can name those health facilities, the different amounts that have been given to those health facilities in fiscal year 2022. Because according to the government of Liberia, 7.2 million United States dollars have been given to more than 70 hospitals, clinics, and health facilities across Liberia. 7.2 million is a huge amount, and so there should be some visible signs of that money that was disbursed at those health facilities. So the government can look back to, because when you look at it, and this is my disappointment with other people from government. Social media was flooded. social media was flooded by the US ambassador's statement. Unfortunately, social media is not flooded with the response of the Liberian government. You get my point? Look, to counter an information, there should be a proportion, all right? An aggregate proportion. So if this information was spewed out through 10 radio stations, it should be counted through 11 or 12 radio stations. And the importance of that is that there are people who may have been listening to that information, the initial information. 10 persons might have been listening, and those 10 persons took it out. Now, there should be 12 persons or 13 persons that will listen to the counter of that information to put it out, so as to gain superiority in information dissemination. If that is not done, then the government in trouble. And you know, that's why sometimes I say the government receives some criticisms that are unwarranted. And those criticisms only come because those who criticize do not have the real information. And once there is a vacuum created in the information dissemination process, that vacuum is exploited by anyone to dodge something there. And that thing will be used and will be carried all around. Now that the government has released our response, I expected supporters of the government of Liberia to have it all on social media. The same way opposition people had the US ambassador statement all on social media. That's parity of information dissemination. When that parity does not exist, the weaker force bears the brunt. In this case, it appears that the government seems to be the weaker force. In that, their own people, they're not spreading the information all around. They're quiet on social media. They're not spreading the response of the government, which is key. They're not spreading it. So now, the opposition people will dominate the space. We, the neutral people, we will sit down here and we give all sides of the conversation the opportunity to give it to give out the information. It is our responsibility. We sit in a neutral position, and there's only one responsibility we have. We take it from this side and give it to the people. We take it from this side and give it to the people. That's our job here, to give out information to the people. How you use it is to the best of your knowledge. It's our responsibility to give it out. So if there are people who are fanatics of the government, who are not spreading the message of the government, it's on them. We are playing our role here as members of the Fourth Estate. Folks, that's it right there. And so let me roll on this PUPT. The People's Unification Party has a bit of confusion within. A segment of the party led by Emmanuel Nukwe, senator of Margibi County, they actually released a statement in which they've given their support to the Coalition for Democratic Change. And the essence of that was to give their entire support during these elections to the re-election of President George Weah. And that statement was endorsed by Emmanuel Nukwe, who's seen as one of the key leaders of the party. Now, the chairman of the party, Samuel Koga, has said that whatever resolution that is given to the coalition should not be accepted because it is null and void, which means it is non-existent because it has not met the general consensus of all partisans or key partisans of the People's Unification Party. Now, like I told you and I predicted a month ago, that these infightings will continue almost across all political parties in Liberia because of vested interest. Now, a political party has made a decision, and according to the chairman of the party, who is seen as the individual who controls and chairs different meetings in the party, he's saying, well, he's not aware. So these little confusions, we already have confusion in PLP, we got confusion in NPP, we got confusion in Liberty Party, and soon to be, there will be confusion in the Unity Party. People in yellow hear that one. But in reality, there will be confusion in the Unity Party. And it's based. And like I said this morning, the ALP is disenchanted. The Yomli Kanga Lawrence faction of the Liberty Party is disenchanted. The former vice president has a task at hand, and that is to unite all these people. When you decide to promise everybody and you only give to one person, that what can happen? Yeah, so the noise that's starting in the UP, it will continue. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. It has been a rewarding presentation. Tomorrow, we have as our guest Siafa Gbori. He'll be our guest on the program tomorrow at 9 o'clock on the second segment. And then we talk national issues on the program tomorrow morning. It has been a long presentation. My name is Fidel City. Thanks for tuning in this morning. And it's always a pleasure to serve this country. You know, we love the job we do. We do it with so much passion so that our people who are out there, who feel like all hope is lost, they begin to realize that, look, we all have to work collectively to make this country what it ought to be. We have to support the government. We have to support whomever is in power to ensure. And supporting them does not in any way mean that we agree to everything they say. No, that is not our place. Our place is to ensure that what is meant to be done should be done. And if they do not do it, it is our responsibility to remind them and in some instances chastise them that this is the right way to go. And it is also our responsibility to ensure that opposition political parties behave in a responsible manner. As we move to elections, we who are behind these microphones, we have a greater responsibility than anybody walking the surface of this republic. And the way we conduct ourselves, will set the tone for the way our people go. If we continue to preach messages of divide, our people will be divided on all fronts. Our responsibility is to ensure that Liberia is united regardless of which political party or religious grouping that you belong to. Until tomorrow morning, my name is Fidel Sadie. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's make Mama Liberia peaceful and keep her clean. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a great day.
I like it. I like it. trendybeats.com